Yeah, like my dad, for instance, yeah. My mum and dad broke up when I was about 3 years old. And I didn't really see my dad a lot, you know, he just actually basically got another woman, married her and had 2 children.
Okay.
And I didn't really see him much, you know, sort of as I was growing up.
Yeah.
But when I was about 27, I broke up with my girlfriend who I had a baby with.
Yeah.
Before my marriage, whatever. And I bumped into him and he said, "Do you want to come and live with me?"
Yeah.
So I went to live with my dad.
Yeah.
I started to get to know my dad. I lived
A bit
with him.
more.
I think I lived with him for 6 months. But it's funny that when I was living with him, you know, and I watched him go shopping, and I watched his behaviour, you know, and I found him a lot like me in behaviour, you know, the way he did his shopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so you think that I've never lived with this person, you know what I mean? But it was a lot.
Yeah,
I was a lot like him. And
a lot of the mannerisms
exactly,
and shit.
yeah. You know, and he kind of like the same kind of things as I did in a funny way, you know, and all this kind of stuff. It's all genes, isn't it? And
yeah.
things like that.
Genetics.
But, you know, my brother, who's
yeah.
2 years older than me, is a lot more like my dad, I feel.
Yes, yeah.
You know, my dad was always, he enjoys going out for parties and things like that. My brother's more like that. Where I'm more like my mother, I think, you know, in personality.
Right.
You know, and I think you sort of like, you do get your mum and dad's personality, you know, they kind of like, you're born with it.
Yeah.
In a funny way, you know, but you are an individual, you know, you're not your mum and dad, are you? You know, you're completely a different person, you know what I mean? But you have got their personality somehow, you know, without you even knowing about it, which is quite strange when you think about it.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Genetics, you know, how it all works, you know. Hereditary traits, as they would say.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, because he's sort of like, the way he does his shopping, they go in there, and he kind of knows what he wants already. Like, you know, they go around and then they come back out.
I also think too I also think that's kind of a manly thing too as well. A lot of men, when we go into these type of shops, we're not looking to mess about. We're looking to get what we got on the list, what we know we need to get, whether it be on a list or in the list in your head. We got an attack plan of we going in and this is boom 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 boom, get everything we need to get, pay for it and go. Like, you know what I mean? No pissing about.
You don't want to be in there for an hour.
You know what I mean? It should be done within 20 minutes, half an hour. You could be in and out of a shop, especially if you're doing it like a weekly shop. Say you're doing a weekly shop, you should be in and out within at least half an hour at a maximum, if you see what I mean. You know? You know? So, yeah.
I mean, some people love shopping, don't they?
Well, if you're doing okay, for me, like I might do, like sometimes me and my wife and kids might go and do like a weekly shop or two, or a shop for 2 weeks. So obviously you've got to get a bigger trolley. You're going to be wanting a bit more stuff. If you see what I mean. So you're going to be going around getting a few more bits, whatever. But still half an hour, like I said, at the most, in and out. Like, you know, shouldn't be there any longer than that. You know.
That's why personally, that's why I'm glad I'm not married anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because when I went shopping with my wife, God, I was like getting so annoyed about waiting in such a boring place, basically. Do you know what I mean?
It's one of those things where it's like we know what we need to get, so we've already made a plan. We've already got a list. We've already got whatever. You know, it's get what we need, keep it moving, on to the next thing. You know, job done. You know.
Yeah, but like my ex-wife, for instance, she'd like spending sort of half a day in the shop looking around and just trying clothes on, you know, whilst I'm sort of like trying to sort of give the children, sort of entertain children, do you know what I mean? You know, like I say, I don't find it a fun place, you know, in those kind of places, you know. I think we all kind of think differently a little bit, like I said.
Yeah.
So we all got kind of like different interests.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Like, I mean, me personally, like I told you, I don't like cars or anything like that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never have done, you know. You know, that's me.
Yeah.
But also, I never really liked sports either.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love running, yeah, you know, and I don't mind having a race with someone, you know what I mean, for fun when I was little, whatever, and things like that.
Yeah.
And I love badminton, and I love playing football, I like playing cricket.
Yeah.
But I've got no time for going and watching idols in a kind of way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Idolising people.
Mm.
I don't idolise people.
No, so
That's what makes me different again. I mean, like for instance, Michael Jackson. You know, I do like him.
Yeah.
I think he's really good, but I wouldn't go to one of his concerts.
Well, rest in peace to Michael Jackson.
Yeah. You know, respect. You know, there's a lot of good artists out there that I you know, salute to in life. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't idolise them. Do you know what I mean? I don't put pictures of them on my wall.
Yeah.
I mean, like my brother, for instance, he's always sort of idolised Gary Newman.
Okay.
Okay. You know, and I've not been like that. Do you know what I mean? I could work it out in a kind of way why, you know, he used to put pictures of him on his wall, whatever, you know, and he used to sometimes even dress up like him, you know, and go to his concerts and that. But for me, I do like, you know, like for instance, Madonna, I do like her, whatever, everything like that, but I'm not a person that's going to, you know, sort of give her any money or anything, do you know what I mean? Or be that kind of fan.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean.
Right. Like you said, too many people are too many distractions in the world, you know.
There is.
And like you said, a lot of people go along with the trends, you know. So many people, everything that's trendy, whether it be music, film, media, whatever, people just, everyone kind of follows the trend, you know what I mean, and is, you know, talks about the same shit, you know. So.
Well, you think, you know, going back to when like TV was invented.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, you know, I've read this today, funny enough. Do you know when King George III, I think it was, who died? This is before when Queen Elizabeth come crowned.
Okay.
When he died, right? It went in, you know, the funeral was massive.
Yeah.
It went worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, I don't think I was even born then.
No.
So it was a big funeral, right? And that funeral actually, after the funeral, apparently a lot of people were buying TV sets.
Okay.
Right, it triggered.
When you were young, who was king or queen?
Queen Elizabeth.
What, the first?
Yeah.
Or the second? Or the second?
I was born in 1965.
So the second, Queen Elizabeth the second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when her dad died, do you know what I mean? There was a massive funeral.
Yeah.
And I read today,
Yeah.
I was sort of like Googling or whatever,
Yeah.
that after the funeral,
Yeah.
that's when the first television sales come in, and that's when people started buying televisions.
Okay.
Because they wanted to see it on their TVs.
Okay.
Right, and that's when, you know, you think like if TVs weren't invented, what kind of world we were living in, you know, today, what world would we, you know, it'd be completely different. We wouldn't sort of see all these famous people that have been born.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Elvis Presley, you name it, alright? Television has made them superstars.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's only the birth of TV that's altered our world to what we see it today in any way.
Yeah.
You know? It's quite interesting when you think about it, you know, but like you think like if TV wasn't invented, you know, and they didn't, you know, it wasn't in everyone's rooms today, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What kind of world would it be today?
Yeah.
It would be completely different,
and,
you know.
And it cool television program, you know?
Like nobody would know who Trump was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But it goes back to that whole thing of it's a black mirror, as they say. It's a black mirror, you know?
I think so.
Essentially, you know, you turn on the television and it's called a television program for a reason, you know? It's televising a visual that's what it means, television. It's televising a visual program. So that's why they call it programming. Because it programs you, if you see what I mean. If you watch too much of certain channels and shit, you know what I mean? They will bloody indoctrinate your mind with some shit and have you believe in some shit that ain't, you know? It's, yeah.
But because of the birth of the TV, right? So now we're living in a world where we do know the famous people.
Yeah.
We all do, right? Yeah, like, as I say, Michael Jackson, David Bowie.
Yeah.
There's been a lot, you know, Queen, Freddie Mercury, whatever, you know. There's lists of famous people around, whatever, you know. And you've got stars on their eyes, you know, people trying to get famous, you know, trying to get to the big, you know. stage.
The big leagues.
The big stage,
Yeah.
you know, the big golden stage, you know, so everybody knows them worldwide, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But then a lot of people, right, because of these, in the kind of way this world we're living in, yeah, it's altered because the invention of the TV really, and you know, it's made everybody like myself not famous, you know, or no good, you know, because we know all the famous people on TV, but it makes everybody else failures. You know, they've not gone on stage. You know, do you know what I mean? You're with me.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of world we're living in today. You know, but we're all stars. Or I do believe that we could all be TV stars, all right, in some sort of ways. You know, some people can't sing, but I'm sure that they can do something. Do you know what I mean? In their life, if they, you know, worked at it every day. All right, I think everybody's individual. And I feel that everybody's got an individual talent.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but on you know, sadly in this world, it's sort of like buried.
Yeah, true.
If you see what I mean by the world we're living in. You know, like you know, like. So I think, like for instance, like you know, we got a new king, and nobody's got no choice in the man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just got to look up to the king and salute him.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, hang on, you know, I believe in God. I mean, I'd rather look at God than the king, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that if people were looking at stages and golden stages and people on stages, they're not looking at themselves or nature or God or, you know, they're being sort of like, that's why a lot of people are getting lost, I think, you know, because I think the world's being tricked.
Yeah. Right.
You know, by the big TV in a funny way, you know. It's taken over people in a funny way, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Like most people have got a TV stuck in their head.
Yeah.
And they're being told what to do.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean. But me, I know you don't, you know, we don't watch the mainstream media whatsoever.
No.
We keep well away from it, you know. And you know, and I think there's a lot of people getting like that if you sort of in the world, you know.
Yeah.
Becoming more individual.
Yeah. Thinking for themselves, you know.
Waking up, starting to wake up really, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Thinking for themselves, having, you know, critical thinking and logic, using their logic and being able to see beyond the veil, the illusion that is fed.
A great illusion.
That is fed to us to keep us distracted and divided, you know, and confused and indoctrinated, you know. But yeah, you know, that's why, like we're talking about tonight, that's why uniqueness is so important. Encouraging people not to be afraid to think for themselves, to, you know, not to follow the trend, not to just accept what everyone just accepts just because it's what they're told, you know, and what the rest of the people might believe, you know, because they themselves might be indoctrinated, you know. So just learn to think for yourselves, analyse things for yourself, you know, have your own opinions and just, you know, use common sense, you know. A lot of stuff isn't always as deep as some people think. Sometimes it's, you know, it's just life and, you know, and yeah, you just have to learn how to analyse things, you know, so.
I think we're all forced to do a lot of things, aren't we? You know, like, I've said before, I didn't want to go to school, do you know what I mean? But I had to, you know, so that's force.
Yeah.
That's not nice in a kind of way, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and you're forced to sort of like, even, you know, I said that I don't like cars, but I understand people that do like
that do, and yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, you know, we're living in the world we are today, you know, and you know, like man invented cars.
Cars are a part of our existence, yes.
Yeah, you know, a big, beautiful invention in a funny way.
Historical thing in history.
Yeah, you know, but sadly, you know, the car is doing a lot of damage, you know, it's killing 700,000 birds worldwide, you know what I mean, every year, you know, by, you know, birds hitting cars, whatever, you know. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, is that good?
Yeah.
You know, it's not, is it? You know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we have, as the world that we're living in today, for a long time now, people have been destroying the planet, you know, and it's only getting worse, to be honest. You know, what happens is the more and more we destroy nature, the more natural disasters happen, and all this type of shit start to happen. You know, you start to see a lot more earthquakes, and tsunamis, and monsoons, and tornadoes, and bad hurricanes, and all sorts of shit, landslides, all these things that are happening globally right now. A lot of stuff that's going on right now is due to man destroying nature, and nature has had enough. And because we've destroyed it so much, it's not in, the earth is, it's not in balance. You know what I mean? We've worked nature out of balance, so naturally it causes things to happen. You know, how many times do you want to continue to drill into the earth and remove the oil from the earth, which is essential for the earth? It won't be in the bottom of the. It won't be in the bottom of the. You know what I mean? In the bottom of the bottom of the ground, in the bottom of the earth for a reason. You know what I mean? If you see what I mean, you know, it's there for a reason. We extract it and obviously use it for our purposes. Of course, I understand that. But at the same time, where do we draw the line? Because if you're destroying the earth, like I said, the more you destroy the earth, the more you put oil, the more fucking oil tankers that have oil spills in different parts of the ocean all over the world, destroying the oceans, you know, people, all the rubbish and shit that people refuse to dispose of properly and recycle and all these different type of things ends up in the oceans. We're destroying the world. And then what happens? Natural disasters happen. Because nature just, you can only do so much, you can only destroy it so much before it almost has like a defense mechanism and tries to, you know what I mean, tries to, you know, maintain itself and protect itself. And you know,
with natural disasters, I think they're always going on. You know, like
oh, for sure,
earthquakes.
Yeah.
I don't really look at it like that. I think the way we're damaging Earth is, you know, like I said, we invented a car a long time ago, 100 years ago. But now look at the roads everywhere. Do you know what I mean? We've got racetracks all the way around us. Do you know what I mean? You know, and mad. You know, I look at it like lots of crazy people driving about. To be honest with you, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like if you do drive a car, right, honestly, you're risking your life, and you're risking the people's life in it, alright? But even if you're a good driver, it don't matter how good you are, your life could end that day or that minute. Do you know what I mean? If you're driving along, you know,
Yeah.
somebody else can crash into you. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I look at cars as simple, very dangerous machines that kill hedgehogs.
Yeah.
They hurt little girls. They're always bumping each other, and people get upset when they scratch. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, you know, like 100 years ago, people weren't getting upset about crashes because
Yeah.
they didn't exist. You know, now we've got ambulances picking up all the mess. You know, and we got people, lots of people in wheelchairs because
Yeah.
they've been damaged by, you know, being knocked over by a motorbike or something. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I just think it's a crazy world. You know, if you're, you know, to me, if you get behind a wheel, you are going to kill some beetles.
Yeah.
You're going to kill some ants on the way. You're going to knock some butterflies down, or you might hit a bird. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, you're risking taking a great risk. And I know for a fact that a wise person would not even drive a car.
No.
Right? Because he would not risk anyone's life.
Mm.
That's the simple truth, you know. And the simple truth is that every year that goes by, there's no more birds left. You know, flying. You know, in another 50 years, and you know, you're not. It's going to be a bird's going to be rare and fine. That's what I think.
To be honest, mate, I almost believe that like a mass extinction event probably is going to happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like almost the Earth at some point in the near future, whenever it may be, it's just going to have a cleansing, mate. You know what I mean? And start almost kind of like a restart.
Well, I think something's happening now, isn't it? I mean, that shutdown, I looked at that as a restart button, do you know what I mean? And
Right.
even today, quite a few years later, people are still walking around with their masks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so I think that was, you know, this is the beginning of something. Do you know what I mean? We need to change this world. You know, because it's dying. That's the truth of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's dying fast, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Faster than we think it is. You know, people don't really care about the Beatles. You know, but I've always looked out for them. You know, since a child, and I know that I can't see anymore. You know, and I think the last one I saw was Dead in the Road. Do you know what I mean? That was a year ago. You know, so I know that the Beatles have got no chance. Do you know what I mean? All the ants. You know, they're crossing the roads here. And can you imagine, right? Imagine being born as an ant in this world. How dangerous it really is. You know, with man about who don't really care anymore. Do you know what I mean? They don't care. A lot of people just don't care. They've lost their compassion. You know, and you know, they don't even realise it. A lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, they think this is, you know, this is what man is, modern man, you know, car, brilliant, fantastic. But at the end of the day, those machines are killing so much.
Yeah.
Day after day after day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know that this world would be much more beautiful world if they weren't invented today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean at all? I think people will be a lot happier.
But you know what's even sadder? And this might get me in a little bit of trouble maybe, but who cares? They knew years ago, yeah, and you could do the research behind this, because anyone that knows me knows that I don't just say stuff without, you know, I don't just say stuff for the sake of talking. They know years ago that they could have created a car or whatever
Water.
with water, and not only that, hemp, yeah? Even Ford, years ago, back in, I think in the 40s or the 60s, you'd have to check it, but they definitely did it. I can't remember the year.